Greetings to all of humanity. It's really a joy. It's my pleasure. It's always good to know that I'm bringing this message of emancipation to you and pointing you to look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity. And Abdullah, the black mystic from Ethiopia, taught Neville Goddard how to discover for himself that his real identity is his divinity and that he can create his reality consciously. That's the reason why I want to speak to you on the topic of for 1 month, night after night. Let me repeat that again. For 1 month, night after night. And that was what Neville did. Night after night for 1 month, he would go to bed in New York in his imagination as if he was sleeping in his mother's home in Barbados. And also, he would walk the street of New York as if he was walking the street of Barbados for 1 month in his imagination. So right there, Abdullah was teaching Neville Goddard that he had to live in his imagination, because imagination is God in man. And when the Bible speaks of the eternal body of man, the Bible is speaking about man's imagination. So we see Neville was living in his imagination morning, noon, and night. It would have become a part of his life. So it took discipline, it took dedication for Neville to live in his imagination for 1 month, night after night. And the reason why I find that it is very important for me to speak on such a topic, it is because there are many people who've been listening to the lectures of Neville Goddard for many years, and many of them would not have seen any significant change in their life, or some of them would have not really manifest anything significant in their life that they would like to manifest. And every one of us in this life would like to see ourselves as important people making our contribution to humanity in whatever way we choose, because each and every one of us have certain things that we love in this world, and we would like to excel in those things, because at the end of the day, there's nothing that we can take with us when we leave this earth. So we are here to serve, okay? So you are to say, how may I serve? So when Neville wanted us to be of importance to his family by being present with them, to share with them the holidays, which was basically, it was around December time, around Christmas time, and he wanted us to share that time with them. He was in a place where he had no money, he had no work. As a matter of fact, it was the time of the Great Depression. But one thing Neville had was this burning desire. And it would have felt very strange to Neville at that time of having such a burning desire. He was asking himself, why is it for over 12 years he would have left Barbados and he never had this burning desire before? My brother and my sisters, you might be listening to me right now and you have a burning desire to accomplish something in your life. It might be more money in your bank account. It might be a special job. It might be a certain opportunity. It might be traveling around the world. It might be something, owning your own business. You will know what it is. But you have that burning desire. My advice to you is this. Do not think about how or when it will be done. Just go ahead believing that it is already a fact, and act as if it is already so. Remember to go to the end. If it's a job you want, you must know what kind of job you want. You must know also how much you would like to make from that job and how it would benefit you and your family. And go to the end. See yourself already having that job. See yourself shaking hands. See yourself doing the work. It might be a position that you need in your job, or a promotion. See yourself already having your promotion because everything is already done. Creation is already finished. And that is the lesson that Abdullah was teaching Neville Goddard. And so Neville slept night after night in his imagination for 1 month. There's some people who want things to be accomplished in their life overnight. We're living in a fast world and everybody wants things in a fast way. Everybody want to come overnight rich. And that is why there's so much get rich quick schemes that are used through the internet and are brainwashing and deceiving many are getting hot. And they are actually doing it to themselves, and then they turn around and blame the people who are giving them such offer. But remember, what vibration that you're on will connect you with others who want that same kind of vibration. So you want something quick, you're going to vibrate on someone, some part of the world who's offering you get rich quick scheme. Because remember, you will only attract that which you are and not what you so desire and you want in your life that you're going to attract. Remember, like begets like. Can two walk together unless they agree? So you must be in the same vibration and frequency of that which you want to attract in your life. That is why the Bible tells you that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So you see, Neville was becoming one with his desire. And as he slept night after night in his mother's home, in his imagination, for 1 month, it became a reality. So my brother, my sisters, if you can see something in your mind's eye, or you can see it in the physical, in the spiritual realm, where you have pictures in your mind, because we see things in our mind in a picturesque way. And if you can see things like that, remember, you can physically touch that thing in the physical realm or in the three-dimensional world. So you are actually a fourth-dimensional being. That is why you have to think fourth-dimensionally. In other words, what I'm saying, your spirit having a human experience. So if you're going to worship God, which is your higher self, which is your spiritual self, your spirit self, your invisible self, you must worship God in spirit and in truth. The truth of knowing who you are, that you are God in flesh, and knowing that your imagination is God, the creator, you will realize that everything that you see in the physical world, it was first unseen. So it was invisible, but it now becomes visible. So as I would always say to you, from thought to manifestation, or in other words, from spirit to matter. Everything that you see here is in the form of matter, but first it was formless. So that is why Neville was able to get on that vibration of having that money, and on that vibration of taking that trip to Barbados, not third class, but first class. And that is why Abdullah taught Neville to be specific about what he desires and practice definiteness of purpose in his life. So when Neville went to Abdullah and started to speak the third class language, Abdullah slammed the door in his face. Abdullah would have none of it. Abdullah wanted him to speak the first class language, which is the language of excellence, which is a language of thinking big, which is a language of true self-image or positive self-image psychology in his life. And that is what I want to encourage each and everyone to do. As I would encourage you to go to bed in your imagination night after night, even if you have to do it for 1 month, even if you have to do it for 2 months, even if you have to do it for 3 months. But you must prove for yourself that truly imagination creates reality, and that you can change your world, you can change it consciously. No, you cannot change this system or the world system which we refer to as the matrix. You cannot change the matrix, but you can change yourself. And when you change yourself, you change your world. That is why Abdullah also taught Neville Goddard that there's no one to change but self. And he says to Neville, when you make this trip to Barbados, you're going to do things you never do before. You're going to smoke, you're going to drink, you're going to have sex, you're going to do all these things, because before you was living to fit in with society. You was trying to please everyone else except yourself. And we see millions of people around the world are still trying to please everyone else except themselves, especially those who believe in secular Christianity and believe in looking to a God or power outside of themselves. But when you look inwardly to discover that your real identity is your divinity, night after night, you would sleep in your imagination, because you know that God in man is your own imagination. And everything in this world, it was false imagined, it was false thought, it was false an idea. So my brother and my sister, you've been equipped. Now use that knowledge by applying it in your life, and it will become wisdom. For you will become more wise, knowing that you can create whatever you desire, and prove Matthew 6:33 that you have found the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and that all these things are now being added onto you. So with that, me say, my brother and my sisters, I just want to encourage you, as Abdullah encouraged Neville Goddard, and Neville Goddard was so consistent that he slept in his imagination in his mother's home night after night for 1 month, until that which he imagined became his reality. And that's why I'm saying, my brother and my sister, be careful of what you wish in your life, because truly thoughts do become things. So I want to encourage you, if this is the very first time that you're listening to me, what I'm saying is really making sense to you and it's really resonating with you. If you haven't subscribed already, to subscribe, to comment, to like, to share this video. But just before I leave you, I just want to remind you that this message I bring to you, that it is the single eye message of self-realization, of which Matthew 6:22 says that if your eye be single, your whole body will be full of light. And truly, my whole body was filled with light when that single eye awakes within me, and I changed from mortal to immortality in a twinkling of an eye, and became one with the wind, and experienced my invisible self. And that is why, my brother and my sister, I want to say to you, when you have that experience, you come to realize that it is the rising of the S-U-N in a S-O-N, and that it is the dawning of a new day in your life. For the sun, as you see that sun in the sky, it parallels the human imagination, and the human imagination parallels the sun. For without the sun, there is no life and there is no light. And without the human imagination, there isn't anything made that was made. And you're told in Psalms 84:11 that the Lord thy God is a sun and a shield, and no good thing will he withhold from you. And truly, common sense will teach you that the sun has never withheld any good thing from humanity. For the sun is what powers all of humanity and give all of humanity its energy. Also, you're told in Malachi chapter 4 and verses 2 that the sun, as in the S-U-N, of righteousness shall arise in you with healing in his wings. So you see, my brother and my sisters, righteousness is not something you attain, it's something you come to realize, something you must discover. And that is why, when I had that discovery through my experience, I'm bringing healing to all of humanity. And that is why I keep encouraging you to use your mind power, which is your solar power, your sun power, your God power, your creative power, which is actually the sexual power. Use that power to achieve your every desire. For that was the secret that was taught to Neville Goddard by Abdullah, our ancestor, the black mystic from Ethiopia. So with that being said, I want to say peace, love you all, I'm out.